Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tusting George. I am a data scientist living in Lagos, Nigeria. Today, we're going to be continuing with the third video in the series of the Riby Financial Dataset visualization using Power BI. If you have not seen the past two videos, I'm going to leave a link in the description box so you can go and see them. I also want to say a big thank you to all those who have liked, commented, and also subscribed to the channel. I sincerely appreciate it. Okay, with that said, let's get started into the video. All right, so this week we're going to be exploring or further exploring the revenue and the profit trends. So I'm going to be using what's called a ribbon chart. I think it's right here. Yes. And then I'm also going to be exploring further other columns in the data set. So let's start with the ribbon chart visualization. But the first thing I always like to do, as always, is to give a title to my page. So as usual, I'm going to bring in my text box. By now, you should know text box, right? Okay. Um, so what do I want to write in here? I think I'll just keep it with revenue and profit trend. Sort of still exploring the trends in our revenue and profit. So as usual, I make it bold. You don't have to make yours bold, but I think that if I'm going to title the page or give it a topic, give it a topic or title for page, I think it should be in bold. So I'm going to centralize it. The size we used the last time, I think was 24, if I'm correct now. Okay, so that's what we have. I want to make changes to the background. So, okay, I see that I've not extended this to the end. So let me do that. Okay, so I'll go to my effects. Yes, and then I'll go and change the color. We've been using this light blue shade. Yes, so I'm just going to stick with that. So the shade of the shade, I think it's the shade. Okay. I don't want the visual border. I also do not want the shadow here. So I'm just going to leave it with the background. So that's that for this. Okay, so the next thing is to put in my ribbon chart. So why I want to use a ribbon chart is just because I want to sort of see a trend of the revenue and profit across the years. If you familiarize yourself with this data, you know that we have the years represented in this data is from 2010 to 2017. So I just want to see, what has been the trend of revenue across the top 10 countries, right? So were they originally the top 10 um, revenue generating countries in the first year, or how did that change? So we're going to use the ribbon chart to see that. So what I'm going to do is to come to my visualization pane and click on ribbon chart. So this is my first ribbon chart. Okay. So what do I want to see in my ribbon chart? So I want to see the year. The year should be on the x-axis. So I'm just going to go to my order date. Yes. Okay, so it's definitely on the x-axis, but then it's showing me everything. I have the year, the quarter, the month, and the day. I don't want to see all that detail. I just want to see the year. So I take out the day, I take out the month, I take out the quarter, and I'm left just the year. Okay, what else do I want to see as well? I want to see the total revenue. So I come and click in my total revenue. That should be in my y-axis. Okay, so this is the total revenue. Right. Then I come in and put the country in my legend. Okay, so you can see now. You can see it looks like a lot of threads, right? But then this is very difficult to read. So I'm just going to make it top 10 countries by revenue. So I'm going to go to my filter. Okay, I'm going to go to where I see countries, where you have filters on these visual, because I want to filter just on the visual, not on the page or anywhere else, just on the visual. So I go to where I see country. Okay, so I do my top 10 or top N rather. Then I still want to make it top. I want the number to be 10. And then by what value do I want to see these top 10 countries? It's actually by total revenue. So I come, drag my total revenue to the data fields here, then I apply filter. Right, so you can see that it's now top 10 countries. by revenue. So you can see there's Australia here, there's Bahrain, Maldives, Namibia, Rwanda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Serbia, Singapore, Slovenia, and Yemen. What I can do to this chart is to change some of the colors of the legend. I think that some colors are a little too close, like where you have the light green and the dark green. It might be difficult to, differentiate one country from the other if the colors are too close. So I'm going to make that change, right? Then maybe just try to readjust, customize as we always do. One thing I think I'd also like to add here is the data labels. Okay, so let's just get started. So to format this, I'm going to go to format my visual. I think I will go to my x-axis first. I don't think the title is necessary there, so I'm just going to turn off the title page or the title of x-axis. So that's that there. For the legend, yes, I think I want to change the colors of the legends. I don't think I can make it here. It looks like I have to go to the ribbons. So let's go to the ribbons. I see that Rwanda and Serbia seem to have similar colors, even with Yemen. So you can see there's also Yemen that looks greenish there. So maybe I can make Rwanda dark blue or purple. I don't think I see purple here. Okay, there's some purple already there. Let's make it blue. Okay. Then for Serbia and Yemen, I can change this color. Maybe we can make it orange. Yes, so that there's something distinct. So it looks like a potpourri of so many colors, but you can clearly distinguish from one country to another. So that's that for the ribbons. Then I'm going to add my data labels. So I want to see how this has changed, how this has moved over the years. Okay, so you can see that now. So you can see in 2010, which is the brown, Slovenia was the highest revenue generating country. But then in 2017, I think it was the eighth highest, right? So this is the kind of trend you want to see. And as a salesperson or the maybe the director of sales for a particular region or for this company, this is an interesting trend to see. And then you now begin to think, okay, what's the reason for this trend? Was there inflation at the time? Was there some sort of economic, contraction, those things like that. So that's why I wanted to, use this map. So with my data labels now, I see that the numbers are really close, right? So what I'm going to do is to increase the total decimal places. So I'm going to go to my values and see value decimal places. So I think I'll just do 3. Yes, so you can see there's a difference, right? So perfect. So this is what I want this to look like. So I'm just going to try to reduce size so I can, yeah, okay. So we have that there. One thing else I think I'd like to change is the title. Right, so I'm going to go to general for that. I'm going to go to title. What do I want this to be titled as? Top 10 revenue generating countries from 2010 to 2017. So let's try that. Top 10 revenue generating countries from 2010, okay, to 2017. Perfect. So you have that there. Okay. And you can see Rwanda is the one in, okay, Rwanda is the one in blue. Rwanda was the eighth top generating country, was the eighth on the list in 2010. But then by 2017 is the second. An interesting thing to see is Namibia. Namibia was the 10th, but then by 2017 it's the first on the list. So this is very interesting things, to look at this chart. So this is for the revenue. Now I want to see this for profit, right? So because it's a similar chart, I'm just going to control copy and then control paste. Okay, so I'm just going to make some small changes here. Yeah, try to adjust this, move this up a bit. This as well. Just move this up. Yeah, a bit. I'm leaving the space here for insights. Right, okay. So for this space now, what I'm just going to do is to, rather than have revenue here, I'm going to have profit there. So let's take this out and then put in total profit. You can see this is a different story now. It's similar, but a different story. Then I'm going to go to my filter and be sure that my filtering is done by total profit, not revenue this time. So I'm going to go to filter, take this out, and then put in my total profit, right? Then apply that filter. Perfect. Okay. So same thing was slightly different. So this is for revenue, this is for profit. Another thing I can do is to change colors of my ribbons because the certain colors I think are similar. Um, This is which is this now? I think it's Lesotho. I think it's Lesotho. Which other one is this? Ukraine. So these colors are quite similar. So I think I'm just gonna go to my visuals and then change colors there. So Lesotho and Maldives, they look very similar. So I'll just try to change colors there. Let's see, what can we use for Lesotho now? I'm trying not to use colors from the top. So let's see. Our Rwanda here is blue, is also blue here. Okay, so what needs to change? Lesotho, Maldives. I think I'll leave Maldives as brown because it's also brown here. So you don't want to confuse, these colors. You don't want Rwanda to be blue here and then it's green here. It could be confusing. Okay, so let me change Lesotho and Samoa. I think that the new countries or that the countries they don't already have in the top chart. So I'm going to change Lesotho now. What color do I use for Lesotho? If you use like a yellow, okay. Okay, I can use that for Lesotho. Which other one was I going to change? Samoa. Samoa also looks brownish. So I could use like a light blue for that. Okay, but there's already light blue for Bahrain at the top. I could use a brown. Is it brown? I think we already have that. Let me use a pinkish hue. So maybe yes for that. I think Singapore already has that. Okay, Singapore is like purple, lighter shade purple. Let me change it again so it looks better. Some more, right? Which shade don't I have here? Think I could use gray. Yeah, I think I'll just stick with the gray. A light shade of gray. Ukraine already has a gray. So for okay, let's just go to more colors. Don't think there's a red on this list. Could try a red or this. I think this is cyan. Yes, I could do that. Okay, great. Okay, so that's it there. And then this also shows the trends for the profit. But then I need to change the title. So I'm going to go to my general. So rather than have top 10 revenue, I'm going to have top 10 profit generating countries or top 10 most profitable countries. Okay, so I think we have that there sitting nice and pretty. So, the reason why we have, if you look at the data for 2017, you see it's not as high as what you have in 2016. The reason being that the data set, I think, was truncated in July 2017. So for 2017, we only have data from January to July. So that's why, it looks as if there's a dip from 2016 to 2017, right? And then the data labels they are not showing because of the size of the map I think if I were to move this, okay, it's still not showing, but I think it's the size of the map. So if, for example, this chart were the only one on the page, I think the data labels for 2017 will show. But I'm not very keen on knowing, what's in 2017 because the data there, in my in my own opinion, is not complete. So, but it's still interesting. We can still get a lot of, insights from what happened in 2010 till, 2016. Okay, so now it's time to put in the insights. I didn't want to waste time writing in my insights. So I'm just going to bring in insights that I've written down somewhere else on this page. So let's do this. I'm just control copy it and then control paste and be sure. Okay. So control cut. Great. I think that's even better. So control paste that here and then just adjust it and be sure that the insight sits here. So you can use one text box to collect all the insights, but I just wanted to, since there are just two charts here, I wanted to use this insight for the chart at the top, then another text box to display the insight for the chart below. Okay, so let's go through the insights together. So we have Namibia was the lowest revenue generating country of the top 10 countries in 2010. That's completely true. Namibia is the one, the legend is black. So in 2010, it was the lowest out of the top 10 revenue generating countries. But in 2017, it became the highest revenue generating country. In general, it appears that the top three countries in 2010 are the bottom three countries in 2017. So let's look at that. Let's be sure. Wow, that was Slovenia, Serbia, and Singapore. And actually, in 2017, they're the bottom three. But then again, you know that the data for 2017 is not exactly complete. So if this is where maybe the company folded up in 2017 in July, right? So we could still use that data. But if not, I could just stick with, insight from 2010 to 2016, right? But in this case, since 2017 was there, so I just decided to take insights from 2010 to 2017. So, but your insight can be different, it's up to you. But this is just what I'm putting as insights for now. Okay. Let's go to the other one. Okay, let me just control cut. Okay, I don't think it's selected properly yet. So I'm just trying to select it. Control cut. Okay, it's done it now. And then control paste. Okay, let's move this further down. Okay, cool. Okay, so we see here by 10 most profitable countries. Oh, this should be from. I'm looking at my title again. Apologies. Let me just go and change that quickly. I think I wrote form. This should be for from. Okay, okay, enter. Then for the same, I'm also going to change that as well. Okay, okay, perfect. Okay, so we have that here. Okay, so looking at the top 10 most profitable countries from 2010 to 2017, I think in my previous, or rather in the first original visualization I did with the ribbon chart, I think that I filtered using top 10 revenue generating countries. But for this chart, I'm actually filtering with the top 10 most profitable countries. So that's why my insight here looks a little different. But we're just going to work with the insights based on what we have in this chart. So let's look at the top country in 20, top profitable country in 2010. That was Serbia, and followed by Lesotho, and then Australia. Right. But then in 2017, Lesotho was the second most profitable in 2010, but in 2017, I think it's the fifth. Serbia was the first, but in 2017, I think it's the sixth. Australia was the third in 2010, but in 2017 is the eighth. So I feel like there's something happening with these countries, and the trends. We can also look at the trends, across the years. We don't just have to look at the first year and the last year, right? Well, I'm just very interested in, what has happened in the first and what's happened in the last. So you could also pick, more insights from 2011, from 2013. For example, Serbia was top 2010. But by 2017, or 2011 rather, it was already the seventh, right? If you go from there, you can follow it down. It was nice. Then it went up again. So if you're like the manager for sales manager for Serbia, this is an interesting chart to look. I'm like, what's happening? Why is that this, up and down trend in our profits? So I really like this chart. I love how, it shows the trend. I think it's a lovely thing to see. Okay, so let's go back to the insight now. So Namibia, let me just start with the bottom three in 2010. So Namibia was the bottom, one of the bottom three, in 2010, right? But then in 2017, I think it ends up in the first five. So let me correct that here. Namibia, Namibia once again was the least profitable country in the top 10 profitable countries in 2010. However, it ends up in the top five, or is it top four now? This just is five. Top five in 2017. Rwanda, Maldives, and Namibia were in the bottom five. Is that correct? Rwanda, yes, it was the sixth. Maldives was the eighth. Namibia, yes, was even the last. But by 2017, Rwanda is the first, followed by Maldives, and then which other one is this? New Zealand. Right. So this is also really cool to see. New Zealand was the seventh, right? But then it's tough. So Namibia, Maldives, or Rwanda, let me see. New Zealand, New Zealand. Yeah, I think, yeah. Okay. And Namibia were in the bottom five in 2010. They were at the top, let's do four countries in 2017. So, but you can also explore more insights. You can, look at it just from 2011 to 2016. It depends on you, right? But this is just what I would like to explore, and this is how to do it using a Raven chart. So let's go on quickly to the next set of visualizations I'd like to show you. Uh, okay, so the next set of visualizations are still around profit and revenue, but this time by the products, right? We established in the first video that there are 12 products that this company has. So now I want to see by the products, by the item types that they have, which of these items, which of these products are the highest, are the most profitable, which one generates the highest revenue, right? And all of that. So we're just going to do that and then end the video with that today. So let me quickly start again with my text box. So I have my text box. My title will be Revenue versus Profit by Item Type or even Product. Let me write that quickly. Revenue versus profit by item type. Okay, so I make it bold again, but in the middle, I increase the font size, 20, yes. Then adjust this one as well. Put in the background. I go to title, rather not title, I go to my effects. Then I change the color. This is what I want. No need for visual border, no need for shadow. That's what I want. But in your case, please do as you would like, really. So it all depends on how you want to showcase your visualization. So the first thing I want to do here is to say, okay, which of these products, what are the products we have? We already know that they're 12, but I actually want to see, right, what's the total revenue by item type. So with that, I wanted to use a donut chart. This is our donut chart in our visualization pane. So I'm just going to bring that in here. So this is what it's looking like. Okay, so I want to see total revenue by item type. So I'm going to take in my total revenue, yes, and then item type. It's going to go into the legend, and there you have it. Right, so you can see all the item types. You can see household seems to be the largest revenue generating products, followed by office supplies, cosmetics, meat, baby food, and so on and so forth. What I can do is just to change the title of my chart. I don't think I want to make any changes to how the chart looks. So I like how the numbers are here. I also like how the percentages are here. So if you want to take that out, you can just go to your format visual and go to your detail labels, right? So if you come here under the options and label where you see label contents, right now it's data value, percentage of total. You could do just this, right? You could use category. Well, I like to see numbers. You could use just the data value. You could use just the percentage. But I wanted both. That was why I just did data value and percentage of total. Okay, but if you want to make different changes, you can go on and do it here under your format, your visual. So let me go back here. What are the changes I'm wanting to make? The title of my visualization. So I'm going to go to my format visual, and I'm going to just go to general, where it's the title, and then change it there. So this will be total revenue by item type. Yeah. I can make it bolder, make it 15, make it bold. I think I didn't do it in the previous charts, but please do so. It's important for these charts to be consistent. Let me see the same here. Come to my title. Perfect. Yes, so make 15. Perfect. The same for this one. Make it 15, make it bold. Right. Okay, so let's go back to this. So we're done with our total revenue by item type. We can see all the items and we can see how they contribute to the total revenue in the company. So another thing I'd like to see really then is how many units have been sold, by item type. And to do this, I think I just wanted to use a bar chart to represent all of this. So I pulled in my bar chart, right? I think I wanted to see it here. You can see it anywhere, but this is where I wanted to see it. So what am I going to put in now? So I'm going to put in my item type. This is item type. That should go in my x-axis. The item type, and I want to see the number of units sold. So I'm going to just go down here to where you have units sold. That should go into my x-axis. Then for the legend, I want to see the item types in the legend. Okay. It might not be necessary actually, but I just prefer to have the legend there. So I think I just really want the colors matching this, right? It's not necessary to put the item type in the legend, but I just wanted it to match, what the data is saying in the donut chart. Okay, so we can see this here. Let me make small changes. I go to my format visual. I want to change the title. Title there will be units sold by item type. So I'm going to go to title here. Make that change. Come all the way here. I'm going to make this 15. Make it bold. Voila. I'm going to come back to my visual because I want to make changes on the x-axis and the y-axis. So I'm going to go to my x-axis first. Oh, okay. One thing I've noticed here is my unit sold is by item type and item type. So I'm just going to go back to general and make that change there. So I didn't notice that item type was there twice. So I'm going to come here and just leave it that way. Okay, perfect. So let's go back to visual so we can make changes to the x-axis and the y-axis. So I'm right here on the x-axis. What am I doing? I'm changing the title. So I'm going to go to title. I think I'll just have number of units sold. Number of units sold. Okay, you can see that should have changed by now. Okay, for the x-axis, actually that should not be number of units sold. So it should just be item type. But then again, I feel that since my visualization is already titled units sold by item type, it may not be necessary. So let me just take out the title. So what should be number of units sold should be my y-axis. So I'm going to go to my y-axis and then go to my title and then have number of units sold. Number of units sold. So you can see that it's changed there. What I'm going to do is just make it bold. I don't think I want to increase the font size. So I've made those changes there. Yeah, the last part of things is my data labels. I always love to have numbers on my charts. So I'm just going to scroll down and then toggle on the data labels. That should show in any minute. But if you see this sign, it means that the size of your chart will be too small. So data labels might not show. So I'll need to enlarge a bit, maybe to my left. Yes, you can see the label showing now. So let me just do this because I'm still going to plot some other charts beneath. So I sort of just adjust the size. But like I said, you don't need to have all the charts crammed up in this space. You could extend them into other pages. But for me, all the charts I want to use here are associated to this title. So that's why I'm putting in the charts in here. Another thing I want to make change to is the data label because the numbers are very close to each other. So it's almost as if you can see the bars, they're almost of the same height, but there's actually a difference between these bars. So I'm going to go to my data labels, go to where I have values, and then go to where I have value decimal places. So I think I'm going to do 3 decimal places. Or do I do 2? If I do 2, that is still almost the same. So I'm going to do 3 and extend the size of my chart. So let's see if I can move this way. Okay. And then I have some space to extend this a bit. Still not showing. I think it still needs some space. So let me move this again. But this is now becoming difficult to see. So let me just see what I can adjust. Okay. So we have this now. We have this now. Okay. Yeah, so I think it works well now. All right. So we have that there. So you can see the units sold by the item type. Although you see that the personal care product is the most sold item. But then based on revenue, it's one of the least revenue generating items. So I think one thing this can tell you is that maybe the items you have on the personal care are relatively inexpensive. So although they sell a lot, but because maybe the average price is very low, it's not generating so much. Right. If you look at baby food, even though baby food is the least, no, it's the item type that sold the least, right? It still generates a lot. And then you should also note that these numbers are really close to each other, right? This is 0.2 billion, approximately 0.21 billion. This is also 0.21 billion. So they're pretty close, right? So it's not making a lot of sales. But then, if we were to look at it by revenue, there's a lot of difference. If we look at the highest revenue generating item, that's the household one, it contributes 20%. The same for office supplies, contributes 20% to the total revenue. But then look at office supplies. See the number is about 0.21 billion sold. They're very close, but there's so much difference with the revenue they're generating. They're each generating. The same for household items. What's the number here now? It's like the seventh most sold item, yet it's the highest generating, by revenue. So these are interesting trends you begin to see when you explore the revenue and profit by item type. So we've just done revenue and units sold. I'm just going to do 2 more charts to explore the unit average price of each product and then the profit and the revenue side by side. So let's go on to see the average unit price. This was just me. This was how I thought I could express or showcase, and uncover insights. You can use other charts you like. You can, use other ways to express and present your insight. But this is how I, would have approached this data set, the Riby Financial data set visualization. So now let's go on to average unit by item type. So uncovering this that I've just uncovered from this chart, I want to see, okay, if we're seeing household items generating the largest by revenue, what's really is the average unit price, for these item types. So I'm just going to use my line chart here. So just a simple line chart. I want it here. Okay, just beneath this other one here. So I'm making space because I'm going to put another chart further down. So what do I want to see in my line chart? So I want to see the item type and then the unit price. So my item type should go in my x-axis, and then the unit price, which is just right here, should go in here. Right. Well, remember, I want to see the average unit price, not the sum. So I'm going to just come here where you have this downward arrow, and then I'm going to click on average. So you can see the average price of the items, in each product item type. So for all the items in household, the household item type, the average price of the items there is about $668.27. Okay, so let's do our usual customization and then make the chart look a lot more interesting and alive. So I'm going to come to where I have format my visual. I can start with my x-axis. I usually do not put in the title in this case because they're already stated in the title of the entire chart. So I don't think it's necessary to have the same title in the x-axis, right? And this even saves me space. So take that off. For my y-axis, I'd like to change the title to average units. Average unit by item, or just the average unit price, really. So I'm going to come to my title, and then I have average unit price. Yes, I'm going to make it bold for everyone to see. Another thing I'd like to put in here is the data labels and maybe markers since this is a line chart. So let me put the markers first. I think I'm fine with these circle markers. I think it's fine. The size is also fine by me. I don't want to change the colors, so I'm just going to leave my markers the way it is. If you want to change colors, please do. But in my own case, I don't want to change colors. Then the data label is what I'd like to see. So we can clearly see what the average unit price for the items are. So you can see for household is this amount. For office supplies is 651. For fruits, the average price there is 9, right? If you were to check the total amount it contributes to the revenue, I think it's very insignificant. You almost can't even see it, right? It's very small. And I think that's expected because you can see that the average unit price is 9 compared to, other items that have average prices of more than $200, right? So one thing else I'd like to change is the title of my chart. So I'm going to go to general. I'm going to go to title, and then I'm just going to have average unit price by item type. Instead of average of unit price, I'm just going to do average unit price by item type. I'm going to make it 15 font size. I'm going to make it bold. So that's it. That's it right there. So the last chart I'm going to be exploring is still the line chart, but this time I'll be comparing the revenue and the profit for each item type. Okay, so my line chart again. So this time I wanted to sit here. So let's adjust that. Let's adjust this and put it right here. Okay, so this same line chart, as I said, so I'm going to have my item type on the x-axis. For the y-axis, I'm going to sit in my total revenue there, right? And then from the secondary axis, I'm going to sit in my total profit in. Okay, it's not obeyed me, so I'm just going to bring it into secondary y-axis. So this is where how I want it to be. So total profit on this side, total revenue on this side, and then total profit on this side. So we begin the customization again. What I can do first is to change this. Instead of having sum of total revenue, I'll just have it there as total revenue. So I'm going to right click here and then make that change straight away. Okay, enter. I'm going to right click here as well and then make that change straight away. Enter. Okay, good. You can change the colors of this line, but for me, I think it's all right. I think it's all right, but you can change the color if you want. Okay. So we have that there. So now let's go to format your visual so we can make changes. So x-axis again. I don't think I need to see the item, the title of my x-axis. I take that off. My y-axis. Maybe I just want to make the title bold. It looks as if it is already. No, not this one. Not the values. Yes, actually the title. Okay. Okay, looks like it's just gotten bold now. Okay, that's for the y-axis. Remember, this is our secondary axis, secondary y-axis. So I'm going to go to the title as well and make it bold. Okay. If you look at our y-axis, you can see that the scale there is in trillion. I don't want it to be in trillion. I want it to be in billion. So I'm going to have to come and make that change here. So my display units now can be in billion. Perfect. So that is changed. All right. So anything else we need to change? I think that'll be the title. Before the title, we should have the data labels and the markers. So I'm going to put in my markers. In your case, maybe you can use a different marker, maybe a circle marker for the profit. You can use a square marker for the other one. For my case, I'm fine with both being the same. So usually visualization is not, it's nice to have a very appealing visualizations, but the most important thing is that your visualization is clear and it's, providing the right insight. It's effectively communicating what you want it to do. Okay, so I won't be so bothered about putting too many elements in my visualization. So it's not distracting, whoever's looking at it. So let's have the data labels in. I'm going to turn it on and then you can see the numbers here. I know it looks a little clustered, but I don't think at this point it's a lot. Yeah, I don't think it's too much. Maybe you can just make some changes to the position, but I doubt if there'll be any distinct. Okay, it looks a little different, but you can choose what you want. So should it be under? Okay, so under mean that the first one there is the total profit, no, total revenue. So 88 billion here is for the total revenue, and then 12 billion here is for total profit. So you just need to get the hang of how this is represented. I don't know if I want to put this above or below. I think it's great as above. So you easily know that 18 billion is for total revenue and 12 billion is for total profit. So I'm just going to leave it right there. So you can see the trend between the total profit and total revenue, right? In this case, looking at total profit, I think that cosmetics is the most profitable item type. Even though household items is the highest revenue generating, cosmetics is the most profitable, right? After that, I think the next in line is uh this one, baby food, right? If I'm correct, baby food is generating about 20 billion. If I'm correct, yeah, is generating 20 billion, right? Yet the revenue is 15.3 billion, and which is not even compared to household items that has a revenue of 139 billion, right? So it's although it's very profitable, it's after cosmetics, the next in line is household items, right? Not baby food, it's household items. But then if you look at it again, the profit that baby food generates compared to this is really close, and yet the revenue is not as high as that of the household items. So these are also very interesting insights to see and to get a hang on, and to make recommendations and provide to make recommendations that will guide decision making, for this company or for whatever company that you'll be analyzing for. So these are the charts that I would like to show. The next thing I would like to just move into is the insight. So I'm rating my insight separately, so I'll not waste time. So let me just pull that in, and then I will um make changes as necessary. So let me control cut that and then put that right here. So my page 4. Okay, so control paste. Okay, so I'm just going to readjust size, push it, just carry all the way here, or drag, and yeah, have it right there. Move it here. Okay, it's a little too big. Oh, there's too much space, so maybe that can give this a bit more space. Yeah, it all depends. Doesn't have to fit in for all the way, but this just looks good the way it is. All right, so my insights here is there are 12 products, which we've already done. We've identified in the video, first page. Household items, office supplies, and cosmetics are the top revenue generating and also more like the most profitable items. Although personal care, clothes, and beverages amassed more unit sales, that did not translate to higher revenues and profits, largely due to the average price of these item types. Cosmetics is the most profitable product type. Right. So these are my insights. In your own case, you might want to uncover a lot more insights. It's up to you. But this like basic insights I generated from this, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. This is all of what I'll be showing you today in this video. Thank you so much for watching. In the next video is going to be the last in the series of videos for the Riby Financial Dataset visualization. So in our next video, we're just going to do recommendations and something around key indicators, key influencers. We're going to use that chart to do our recommendations. I'm going to rename all these pages here, and then I'm just going to teach you how to download. It's really not a big deal, but I think it's nice to just know how to do these things. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Please keep your comments coming in, your comments, your likes, your subscriptions as well. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Do have a lovely, lovely weekend. And I'm going to see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.